Hi, welcome to Ashok IT. My name is Narendra Babu, having 17 plus years of experience in .NET technology. Now today I'm going to discuss about the topic .NET Core Microservices using Azure DevOps. Okay, so how I am going to describe that. To learn .NET Core Microservice using Azure DevOps, we need to have a prerequisites. The prerequisites are you need to know the language of C#.NET, which is the basic fundamental language we need to learn. Okay, after learning the basic fundamental, you need to know the language of HTML, CSS, and Bootstrap. Okay, these required a basic information, basic understanding of C#.NET, basic understanding of HTML, CSS, and Bootstrap, and then we should have SQL Server knowledge, which is the basic knowledge on SQL Server. Okay, so to learn .NET Core Microservices, we should know C#.NET, we should know HTML, CSS, Bootstrap, and you should know SQL Server. Okay, so this is the basic prerequisites we need to learn as part of learning a microservices using .NET Core. So this is basic fundamentals. Okay, after learning this basic fundamentals, what we are going to learn this .NET Core microservice. We are going to learn first one is ASP.NET MVC core. Okay, we are going to learn ASP.NET MVC core. In ASP.NET MVC core, the very first concept we are going to talk about is middleware. How the request and response will be comes to the ASP.NET application. The second one is routing mechanism. Third one is controller. Fourth one is views. Fifth one is model binding. Sixth one is service layer. We are going to discuss about how the service layer is all about. Seventh topic, we are going to talk about IOC, dependency injection. We are going to talk about IOC and dependency injection. After learning these concepts, we are going to talk about views. Views already there. So we are going to talk about model binding. How are you going to bind the model? Okay. And ninth topic, we are going to talk about repository layer. How are you going to build your repository layer? Okay. And the 10th topic, we are going to talk about to build a repository layer, we required entity framework core. Entity framework core. We need to learn entity framework core. And 11th topic, we are going to talk about what type of authentication we can perform on ASP.NET MVC core. And 12th topic, we are going to talk about authorization. We are going to talk about authorization. GitHub. 14th topic, we are going to talk about Azure virtual machine. 15th topic, we are going to talk about CI/CD pipeline, configuring the CI/CD pipeline configuration. Okay, so basically to learn ASP.NET MVC core, we are going to talk about middleware, we are going to talk about routing, we are going to talk about controller, we are going to talk about views, we are going to talk about model binding, we are going to talk about service layer, we are going to talk about IOC or dependency injection, model binding was repeated, I'm extremely sorry about it, a repository layer, entity framework, authentication, authorization. Once we build entire project, that project is going to be used in a GitHub source repository. After that, the GitHub source repository, we are going to have a Azure virtual machine. In the Azure virtual machine, how I am going to push the code from GitHub to Azure machine with the help of CI/CD pipeline configuration, which is everything we are going to learn in just 40 hours. How many hours we are going to learn? We are going to learn in 40 hours. We are going to build a eStore admin project. We are going to build a eStore admin project. What this project basically we will do is, in the eStore admin project, we are going to create 3 modules. The module 1 is brand module, module 2 is type module, another one is product module. Now, after building these modules, we need to ensure authentication and authorization of this module. Why do we need authentication and authorization of this module? Means a person who is an admin, he can able to edit, update, delete and create. Okay. So, to perform CRUD operation, it should be only by admin. To perform read operation, it should be only by users. For the eStore admin module, we are going to perform a CRUD operation with the help of admin role. For that, we are going to implement authentication and authorization. Understand? So this is the basic idea of ASP.NET MVC core. If you go anywhere in the real time, 80 to 90% people will ask questions in this area. So if you learn this particular module in 40 hours, you can very well clear ASP.NET MVC core .NET. Or you got my point? So this is the basic idea of .NET core. Now, we build an admin module. This module will go and store in SQL Server database. After building this everything in 40 hours, we are getting into microservices. Let me explain what all the concepts we are going to learn in microservices, where in the architectural diagram we are going to implement that microservices. Okay, fine. Now we are going to talk about microservice related concepts. The very first concept we are going to discuss about CQRS pattern. This is one of the important design pattern in microservice we are going to learn. Okay, the second pattern is we are going to talk about Saga pattern. This is another important pattern while building microservices. The third pattern is RabbitMQ, which is nothing but a Saga pattern implementation. Okay, so these 3 patterns. On top of that, we have one more concept which is nothing but GRPC, Global Remote Procedure Call. I will explain what is Global Remote Procedure Call in the architectural diagram. And then 5th topic we are going to learn Docker containerization. I'm going to containerize all the concepts. Okay. And 6th topic we are going to learn MongoDB. How I am going to communicate your front-end .NET core with the MongoDB. And 7th topic I am going to cover PostgreSQL. Okay. So once you've done that containerization, RabbitMQ, Saga, CQRS pattern, MongoDB, PostgreSQL, the entire structure will be created as a microservice architecture. We are going to talk about microservice architecture. Okay. With the help of these concepts, we are going to build a microservice architecture. And apart from this, we are going to talk about API gateway, a concept called API gateway. And ninth topic, we are going to talk about AKS, Azure Kubernetes Service. I'm going to push this Docker container to the Azure cloud. For that, we are going to have Azure Kubernetes Service. We are going to use Azure Kubernetes Service so that Azure containerization will happen. How this architecture will become an Azure? Let me explain that. Okay. Now, if you look into here, I have a SQL Server database, which is of SQL. I have a product service, which is a microservice product, and this is one particular application. Okay. The second topic is I have another microservice, which is nothing but a MongoDB. I'm going to use MongoDB. Here I'm going to have a order service, product service, order service. And once the order has been confirmed, I'm going to have a dispatcher service, something like a dispatcher service, where you will have a database of Elasticsearch, which is nothing but PostgreSQL. And here I'm going to create a service called dispatcher. Now, all are independent services. I have a product service, I have a order service, I have a dispatcher service. Every services are independent services. Now what I want to do, I want to call these services with the help of Angular client. Let's say an example of your Swiggy or Zomato portal. Okay, either people will use Angular or React. Okay, so with the help of Swiggy, Zomato, we have to use Angular or React. So what will happen? I have an Angular application has been built. Now I want to pull the data. Let's say an example, I want to create an order. When I create an order, this guy will talk to the product service whether the product is available or not. If the product is available, he will make an order. Once the order is successful, he have to make a dispatcher. So client should not make a call 3 times from the Angular. To avoid that frequent calls from Angular, we are going to build a intermediator called API gateway. This API gateway will make a call to product service, will make a call to order service, will make a call to dispatcher service. Okay. So in the API gateway, we are going to implement Saga pattern, which we discussed in the previous, right? What is the topic we are going to discuss? And we are going to learn RabbitMQ and RabbitMQ, etc. These are all the few concepts we are going to learn. And then whenever an Angular client will make a request, API gateway will make a request to the product, come back a response. Again, immediately it will make a request to the order, get a response back. Again, it will give a signal to the dispatcher. And then for the final generated response of 3 different services, product service, order service, and dispatcher service, that response will return sent back to the client. So from the client, Angular client, you are making a single request to the server. This server will go and talk to these independent services and give a response back to that. This is the overall architecture of microservices. Sir, I want to understand, do I need to expose all the 3-4 services? No. These services are private in cloud, which is nothing but within the organization, these services will be available. Only API gateway will be exposed to the public. So the URL of API gateway will be public. The URL of product is private. URL of order is private, which is within a cloud of our network. URL of dispatcher is private. Okay. To learn this entire architecture, we need 80 hours. We need a development time of 80 hours. Okay. So to learn this entire microservice architecture, including eStore admin, we need 80 hours. Total duration of this course is 40 hours of eStore admin, 80 hours of microservices, total 120 hours. Plus or minus, you can add 20 hours. Plus or minus 140 hours, we can finish the entire microservice program using Azure deployment. Thank you all. Have a great day. If you have any queries, anything, please contact Ashok IT. Thank you all.